As the OSC continues to grow, I can't help but feel like there's more and more people popping around with some of the worst takes I've ever seen in my life. And while this is completely natural for any community that grows over time, since BFDI is mostly for little kids, I can't help but feel like it's especially prominent over here. So just like any mentally sane YouTuber, I turned my problems into YouTube content and also get into my audience. When I asked them 3 months ago on their hot takes on BFDI and the OSC as a whole. And I can't lie, some of these are definitely very disgusting. Before we start though, I want to quickly clarify that these are all just opinions, and if you don't agree with them, you should not go off in the comments about it. This is just a purely fun video, solely for entertainment purposes. With all that said, I hope you all enjoy the video, and let's begin. So, for our first take, we have Mimi Yuku Master Plus Show 9621. Banger name, by the way. He said, I'm not a huge fan of contestant vote shows. One of the main appeals of watching shows is the viewer interaction by being able to vote. So when you don't have that, it just makes it feel like TDI. Also, it's always so predictable who will make it far and who will get out early. Funny joke characters are off first, and the villainous ones always do super well. Alright, starting off strong. No, this is just an awful take. No, hard to disagree. Before I start to go off though, I can see why you think this. One of the main appeals of BFDI and the OSC was the fact that objects were competing, and also that the viewers could also vote for which ones stayed longer than others. But you really should not get upset if object shows just trying to do something else for once. And I'm actually going to take this a step further. I think contestant vote shows are better than viewer vote shows. The reason is, I think they can make a much better story if the writers had full control over who stays and who goes. Like, imagine if you're writing a viewer vote object show, and you have a character that you have future plans for with arcs and stuff. But then they just get eliminated out of nowhere, and bam, all the plans go to waste. And one final thing, I think the last line is just not true at all, and I have no idea why you think that. Mainly because in Anime Insanity Season 3 Final 4, only one of them was considered an antagonist all the way through. So yeah, please never have an opinion again. Our next opinion is from Yugentrification, and he actually had like 3 mini takes, so let's just go through them quickly. He said, what is a terrible villain? IA has been bad to terrible since Season 3 Episode 13, and pandering to the viewers does not equate to a good and natural story. For the first one, it's a 50-50. I do think Juan as a character has a lot of flaws, especially her origin story Teapot 20. But I do feel like she does a good job at being mysterious and intimidating at the same time. For the second take, I mostly disagree. Anime Insanity Season 3 has to be one of my favorite seasons of all time, though I do feel that it kind of falls off in the later episodes a little bit. And for the Season 4 argument, I'd wait a little bit longer before I draw conclusions. I feel like it has potential and has shown a lot of signs of improvements, but it still has a long way to go in my opinion. And for the last one, yeah, I'd say that I agree, though I really do feel like we should make clear what pandering means exactly. But for the most part, fair enough, I can't really disagree there. Hey, wait, before the video goes on, I just want to say that if you've been enjoying the video so far, then please consider subscribing. YouTube recently just demonetized my entire channel, so I can't earn anything anymore. So really, the only thing that keeps me going still is you guys' support, and subscribing really helps me out with that. And I also have a second channel if you're interested. Okay, thanks for listening, and now back to the video. Our next one is from 993D, and he said, Anime Insanity is overrated. Okay, I think I have to disagree here. Not because I think it's great, but because I do feel like it gets a fair amount of criticism for all the issues it has. Not much else to say, moving on. TBFABD said, Teardrop is a bad character. In the first 3 seasons, she does next to nothing. In VFB, they made her decent, and then in VFB post-split and Teapot, they made her overpowered attack, without any explanation. I wouldn't exactly say all these inconsistencies make her a bad character. I think that's just more of an issue with the show's writing, as it gets a little bit too silly and maybe kind of loses the premise a little bit. I feel like she actually does have quite a bit of personality, even though being completely mute. And I think being competitive also adds on to that, so I would kind of disagree with that take right there. Spoon97 said, it's not realistic, so I think Minecraft RTX better. Who's gonna tell him that this isn't a Minecraft Let's Play? Okay, this next one by SK970 is a fucking paragraph. But basically, he just goes on about one's backstory just not making sense in the slightest, and also not getting why she would want to eliminate contestants like Belle, Bombi, Needle, and Barf Bag. If you want, you can read the whole thing, I don't really care. And for this one, yeah, I'd say I agree. I do feel like her backstory was just incredibly disappointing at the time, like, oh no, she was alone, no, who cares, and I never understood why one needs the contracts in the first place. I mean, all she needs to do was manipulate Pencil into giving her the powers, and that's it. I really don't get the point of the contract. Unless they reveal it in a future episode like a plot twist, then I'd say it makes sense. But yeah, I really wish her backstory was just less on petty beef and more for like, you know, the algebra aliens actually hurting one. Because not gonna lie, the current backstory that we have is just incredibly cartoonish. I don't really know how to describe it. Chapa Chill said, I should have ended with season 3. I'm referring you mean the season 2 finale, even though they had like 3 seasons in total. And if that's the case, I'd say I mostly agree with you. When Anime Insanity 2 ended, I really genuinely thought that Animation Epic would just make another object show or just move on to a different genre. But nope, they just kept making Anime Insanity. Yippee! I was a little bit disappointed that there was going to be a season 4. But at the same time, I can understand, because if they made something new and it flopped, like, there's real people behind that and they get paid, and some of them like rely on that like for like their jobs. So, but yeah, story wise I agree. Logistically wise, no, not really. Internet Boy 777 said Nickel and Gady are both top 10 worst characters in BFDI. No, yeah, I had to disagree. Anyways, I personally kinda like both of these characters. Nickel in BFDIA was just peak comedy relief, but I always found it weird how his personality constantly fluctuates between sarcastic and just plain silly. Now that I think about it, is he like bipolar, like Gangle from the Amazing Digital Circus? Okay, wait, I'm getting off topic. And for Gady, I honestly think she played a really unique role in Teapot, and I was definitely a little bit sad after her entire existence getting removed and to getting all depressed and stuff. And she was also mildly important in BFE Priesthood, helping Bug get over her native obsession with Taco. So yeah, I'd say both of these characters are pretty good. Next one from Queenani Peloton. Oh my god, that's another paragraph. God damn. Okay, well, they basically say that people can like Book not just because of sympathy bait, and also that the haters just shouldn't judge them if they do or not. I can't lie, I really agree with this one. Well, Book isn't my number 1 favorite in BFDIA. I like the fact that she actually wants to work for her victories and not just take the easy way out. Like in BFDIA 19, where she wanted to collect actually valuable items for the fish monster. And I really like and relate to this mindset a lot. And I like relatable characters. And they also had a second take, which was, I can like nice characters, the problem is when a character begins boiling nice. And yeah, I agree with this one, not much to say. Osmond20125 said, I like those generic mean characters. And for this one, I feel like this is less about the mean characters and more just about liking classic object shows. Because let's be real, every OG object show has at least one generic mean character. And I mean, they're mean, that's their only personality trait. I don't see why you missed them exactly. I feel like you just missed the nostalgia of generic shows. And if that's what you really want to say, yeah, I can honestly respect that. K.1082 said, Anime Insanity Season 4 is buns. And like, why is it buns exactly? Like, I only see buns like burger buns, like when I eat a hamburger. Like, I don't know why you would, like, it's a web show, it's not a burger. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, okay, I gotcha. Thanks, man. But I don't think it's gotten to a point where I can say I have a full opinion on the season yet. I mean, it has a lot of potential, and the animation has gotten a lot better, but it still has the same issues as before, mostly. And it's also created by the guy that
I have nickel plushies,
so I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up sucking. But I'd say I'm optimistic about the show. And plus, they have shown in the past that they are capable of making genuinely good episodes, so I'm still hopeful for that. Real Galaxy said, DFCs are bad, they're worst community in the whole world. I would know they have too much What is a DFC? Okay, one non-Gemini Google search later, and it's apparently the US International Development Finance Corporation. What? And for our final take by Okasa007, he said, animatic battles humor is only funny sometimes. You will never say anything bad about Animatic Battle ever again, you ungodly creature, you swine, you... Yo, I low-key kinda lost it there. Well, thank you all so much for watching. I really do hope that you found some of these takes awful, because some of there definitely were. There were definitely some awful takes in there. But we also got some really base takes, I can't lie. So, it's whatever. Thank you all for watching, and bye-bye.